Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about software testing lifecycle. So what is software testing lifecycle? So software testing lifecycle is nothing but a sequence of specific activities conducted during the testing phase. And why do we do this sequence of testing activities? Just to ensure the software quality goals are met. The testing process is executed in a well planned and systematic manner. Okay, all activities done are to improve the quality of the software product. So the end goal is to improve the quality of the software product, and the software should meet the requirements for the product. Okay. So what are the characteristics of STLC? STLC is a fundamental part of software development lifecycle, but STLC consists of only the testing phases. Okay, so STLC will fall under SDLC only, but STLC is specific to testing itself. STLC starts as soon as requirements are defined or software requirement document is shared by stakeholders. Okay, so once you get the software requirement document, STLC will kick off. Okay, STLC yields a step-by-step process to ensure quality software. So the end aim actually of the STLC is to ensure software quality is up to the mark. So what are the phases of STLC? Okay, so STLC phases will start with requirement analysis once you get the requirement specification document, then test planning, then test case development. Test case development is important because you need to break down the requirement specification document in the pieces of test cases so that it will be easy to read next time. Then test environment setup. Test environment setup is important, so the development should be ready and the release branch should be deployed in the test environment. Then actual test execution, and finally the test cycle closure. Okay, so let's see one by one. So requirement analysis. We all know that in every stage there will be entry criteria and exit criteria. So for the requirement analysis, the entry criteria will be requirement specification, application architecture document, and well-defined acceptance criteria should be in hand. Then only you can start with requirement analysis. And in within the requirement analysis, what activities one need to do? One need to identify types of tests to be performed. Okay, gather details about the testing priorities and focus, so which module to be tested first, that should be prioritized. Then prepare requirement traceability matrix. So requirement traceability matrix should be there because you need to trace whether each and every requirement is tested. So requirement traceability matrix. Then identify test environment details where testing is supposed to be carried out. Okay, so you need to identify on which environment the required testing to be carried out. And then automation feasibility analysis if required. So sometimes we go for automation, though that feasibility need to be done whether the particular test cases will be automated or not. And then what will be the entry criteria or deliverables of that requirement phase testing, or sorry, what will be the exit criteria actually. So the requirement traceability matrix should be prepared as part of this requirement analysis phase, and the automation feasibility report if applicable should be prepared. So these two will be the exit criteria for this requirement analysis phase. Okay, then the second phase will be the test planning. So what will be the entry criteria for test planning? Requirement document, which is obviously coming from first phase itself. Then requirement traceability matrix, which we prepared in the first phase, and automation feasibility report, which we prepared in the first step. So that will be the test entry criteria for the second phase. So what activities we need to do in a test planning? Test planning will include preparation of test plan or strategic document for various types of testing. Then test tool selection. Test tool selection is also important. So which test tool selections you are going to use. Then test effort estimation. Estimation is also important so that it will give a crisp that what time the test phase is going to take. Then resource planning and determining roles and responsibilities. And then the training requirement finally. Then what will be the exit criteria of this second phase, that is test planning phase? Test plan and test strategy document and the effort estimation document. So these two documents should be ready in the at the end of this phase, test planning phase. Okay. Then the third stage will be the test case development. So as we know that the entry criteria will be the same, which we got from previous requirement, the two documents, the test plan and strategy document and effort estimation document. Okay. So in test case development activities, what need to be done? Create test cases, automation scripts if applicable. So if you have need to automate something, you should automate it. Review and baseline test cases and scripts. So you should review your test cases and baseline the test cases and scripts. Create test data if test environment is available. So if you need to create any test data, so that should be done in this test, in this phase itself. Then what will be the exit criteria for this test case development phase? It will be test cases and script should be ready and test data should be prepared. Okay, so let's see the next phase. Okay, so test environment setup, and the entry criteria will be get from earlier phase, that is test case document is ready and testing data is already prepared. Okay, so what activities we need to do in test environment setup? Understand the require architecture, environment setup, and prepare hardware and software requirement list of the test environment. Set up test environment and test data. Perform smoke test on the build. Okay, so once you get a build, you need to perform this smoke test to identify early identification whether the build provided is okay to go ahead with proper testing or not. If smoke test itself is failing, then you can go back and say that this build is not ready for testing, and the test, it will go back in development phase itself. So what will be the deliverables of test environment setup, or we can say exit criteria of this phase? It will be the environment ready with test data setup, and smoke test results will be handy and which is passed actually. So this will start in this test execution phase. The actual test execution will start. So the entry criteria will be the environment ready, which we got from earlier stage, and the smoke test results will be with us, which are saying that the test smoke test is passed and we are okay to go ahead with the test execution. So test in the test execution, what activities one needs to do? Execute the tests as per plan. Each test case should be executed as per the plan. Document test results. You need to document the test results and log defects for failed cases. Okay, if any of the test cases failed, you need to log the defect for that. Map defects to the test cases in RTM. You need to map that whatever test defects you are raising in to the requirement traceability matrix. Retest the defect fixes. If any developer provides you the fix for the bug, you need to retest that and track the defects to the closure. So you need to track down all the defects so that those will be well tested and closed. So what will be the deliverables of this test execution phase, and what will be the exit criteria? Test execution result. So we will have test execution result prepared. Test cases updated with results. Each test case should be updated for the run with the results, or with capturing the screenshots if required as well. And the defect report. So what are defects discovered during the testing, and what are the their statuses? So mostly the defect should be closed actually. And finally, the last stage will be the test cycle close. So the entry criteria will be, we all know that test has been completed, test results are available, defects logs are available. So what will be the activity of this test cycle closes? Evaluate test cycle completion criteria based on time, test coverage, cost, software quality, critical business objectives. Okay. Then prepare test matrix based on the above parameters. Document the learning out of the project. Okay, so document the learning, what you learned during this testing lifecycle phase. Prepare the test closure report. So you need to prepare the test closure report so that that should be shared to the stakeholders, and it will be easy for them to decide whether we need to go ahead with the release or not. Then qualitative and quantitative reporting of quality of the work product to the customer. So we need to report everything to the customer, what kind of the quality and quantity of the quantitative reporting of quality testing happened in the phase. Test result analysis to find out the defect distribution by type and severity. So what kind of severity the defects occur during the testing life cycle. So that's will also important to analyze, and that should be included in the test cycle closure report. So what will be the exit criteria for this, or deliverables of out of this test cycle closure phase? That will be test closure report and the test matrix. We need to send it out. So thank you for this session, guys. If you have any questions, queries, as usual, you can email me or you can drop in a comment section. Thanks.